Hi there, everyone. Nicole Connor here. I am so excited to share Motive Monday with you. You've heard teasers, you've seen teasers all week about the hashtag Brave. And we have a quote that we've been dying to share with you. And here it is. It is by Brene Brown, who is an author, speaker, researcher, storyteller. And this quote is, "Owning our story and loving ourselves is the bravest thing that we will ever do." I'm going to go ahead and call upon Don McGee and get your thoughts about this quote.
Well, thank you, Nicole, and thanks for having me today. Yes, so this quote, this is really cool. We've got to own everything that we do. Our failures, our successes. We need to look at each failure as not that we're not worthy or that we're not good enough, but that's one step closer to success. And so our hashtag for this was hashtag brave, and it couldn't have come at a better week for me. So I had a whole week in Mexico doing a whole lot of brave things, not only for myself, but also for my husband. And one of the things that I like to live by is do one thing that scares you every single day. One thing. Well, the one day we did our outdoor adventure, we did a whole lot of things that was quite scary. But anyways, so we learn and we grow just by getting outside that comfort zone. And, if we don't get outside our comfort zone, we're never going to know what we can accomplish. And it's all about loving ourselves in the process of that, because we're going to stumble, we're going to fail, just like a toddler when they're learning to walk. They start walking, they fall down, they get back up. Or you're riding a horse. You get on, you fall off, you get back up, and you keep riding. Well, I actually rode a mule up a mountain like this steep. And did rappelling for the first time down an absolute cliff. And zip lining, I've done that before and what have you, but some of these things were crazy. But do one thing that scares you every day. Own everything about yourself, your faults, your successes, your failures, your imperfections, and your flaws, because we are beautiful, each and every one of us from inside out. We are all different and individual. What that means to me. Thank you so much, Nicole.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Dawn. Okay, Noelle Upchurch, you're up next.
Hey, thank you so much. Well, I'm going to piggyback off of Brene Brown that I was watching yesterday, and I do believe that we are all here to create whatever that is, whether it's a wonderful meal, whether it's writing a book, a movie. All of those things did not exist, right, until somebody created them. Mm-hmm. And so in order to use our creative skills to our best ability, we have to be somewhat vulnerable, because as Don was saying, there's the possibility of failure, but the failure teaches us. So you have to have bravery in order to be vulnerable. You have to have vulnerability in order to create. And so I invite everybody to go out there and be brave and create something wonderful, because that's what we're here for.
Oh, I love that. Anything else you want to say?
No, go ahead. Thank you so much, Nicole.
Thanks, Noelle. Boy, what great insight from Brene. And certainly, being vulnerable is a big piece of being brave. So thank you for that. Carmen, you're up next.
Hey, everybody. I like this quote because sometimes telling our story to other people makes us get emotional. And we remember that story, that situation with such difficulty sometimes. And if it was a hard time and living through that fear and being kind to ourselves. So I've really actually made my mindset change a little bit to say that, our failures, our experiences and our story are not failures. They were for a purpose, for going through something that is going to lead us to something better as we get older and grow and experience new things all the time. And in the end, it's the bravest thing you've ever done.
I love that. Thank you so much. Ladies, you are just so amazing in your interpretation of this quote. Thank you, Carmen. I'm going to go ahead and call upon Lenore. You are next.
Hi, thank you, Nicole. And the quote for me, owning your own story, and loving yourself. So, in owning your story, all of our stories are different, and we all have a story. Sometimes our stories are great and fantastic and good, and then sometimes our stories are not so good, and we may experience some failures. But for me, what I got out of it is the piece of loving yourself through the journey of the process. It is the greatest gift. And if we can love ourselves through it, because sometimes when we go through failure, we have the tendency, and it's a human tendency, to beat ourselves up or to feel sad or, judgmental about ourselves. And we must find a way to just love ourselves through it, because Jesus taught us to love and to love ourselves. And it is the greatest gift, greatest law, and it's the greatest thing that we can do for ourselves, because the process is going to unfold if we are in tune with the process. If we can just get in tune with the process, it's going to unfold the way that it's supposed to unfold. We are where we are supposed to be right now on our journey. So the piece that I got out of it is being brave. #brave is to just love yourself through the process. And thank you, Nicole, and back to you.
Great interpretation. Thank you so much, Lenore. Miss Crazy Cat, you're up next.
Hi, thank you for having me. So I have over 2,200 jumps out of an airplane, and I thought that jumping out of an airplane that many times made me brave, but actually realizing that I had this huge dream in my heart and that I could go and do it and rely on God and just to put my faith in Him, that I had a bigger story to live than just to keep doing what I was doing and plodding along, and to stop worrying about what people think. You know what I mean? So it's like I jump out of an airplane 2 miles up. I can do this. It's totally fine. Who cares what anybody thinks? So it's just loving myself and realizing that that story is meant to live. And as long as I keep it in myself, it's going to stay hidden.
That's amazing. I can't wait to do a jump. It's going to be so much fun. Fantastic. Thank you, Kat. Heather, you are up next.
Thanks, Nicole. This quote and the hashtag for this week, #brave, means to me trying new things, stepping outside of the box that others or even myself put me in, pushing forward when stopping would be so much easier to do, and loving myself throughout the process of each stage in life. Thank you. Short and sweet.
Love it. Definitely a seasonal thing for sure. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Heather. All right, Ms. Kiwi, you're up next.
Okay, I love the quote, #brave, owning our story. For me, that was writing a book. I felt called and led to write a book, so to be obedient, which meant then I had to stop doing some things I was doing to focus on that book. It took me 3 months to write, but understand with the rejection, not only I, but self-doubt, that I wasn't good enough. I had people tell me I wasn't Christian enough. I did go to church. Why would I write a Bible study book? I had a mentor, a spiritual mentor, tell me, you need a platform. You should really be like $1 million earner before you attempt to write a book. And I'm like, really? So I could have, through that process, allowed myself to quit, which is not being brave. Being brave is saying, you know what, watch me. So I did it, and I'm not a bestseller, but not yet. But my book is published, and the results I'm getting, text messages of people's lives that have been touched through my book, is the reward and everything. And so finishing that quote, own our story, love ourselves through the process. I love that, because people ask me often, what does it feel like to be a 6-figure earner? what does it feel like to be a millionaire? I said, I don't know what the money means. I know I can't wait to meet the person I become. And that requires bravery. Back to you, Nicole.
Ugh, now my spirit's all jumping all over the place. I love that. Thank you so much, Kiwi. Karen, you are up next. You're gotta unmute.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Okay. Hashtag brave means, to me, fear holds many of us back from moving forward and accomplishing our dreams. So hashtag brave to me is stepping out there and doing so many things that you didn't think that you were capable of doing. Last week, I'm going to share a little story with you. I did it in a video, but last week I went to a conference in Nashville. And first of all, you need to know I'm not a shy person. I have talked to many large groups when, as a supervisor with Eastern Airlines. And so that's not the issue. I'm not afraid to go into crowds or anything like that. But I will have to tell you, when I stepped into that room with so many young, beautiful women wearing their makeup, my first thought was, should you be here? And I don't know why I thought that. It just all of a sudden hit me. Should you be here at your age wearing makeup with all these gorgeous women? So, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to meet some people, and I have every right to be here. And so I did, and I had a wonderful time, and I felt really good about it. And so anyway, that's what brave means to me.
Wow, thank you, Karen. That was just so sweet and such a transparent way of experiencing what it means to be brave. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Miss Wanda, you're next.
Thank you, Nicole, for having me. I really didn't focus on this quote till just now, but when Lenore brought out the loving ourselves through the process, I think that's one of the biggest things to me in the quote, owning our story, and I'm going to tell a little story, and being brave in through that. I was raised Mennonite, and I was very, I want to say squashed. I was stuck in the middle between sisters and brothers, and it was everything about everybody else, not Wanda. Everything had to focus on everybody else. Everybody else had to have their thing done because it's just the way it was. We didn't have time to focus on each individual person. But at 22, I loved myself enough to say this church is not caring in love. And I walked away from that. The first one in my family to walk away from everything I ever knew. So to me, that's probably the bravest thing that I ever did, because I still to this day, it's hard for me to believe that I got the courage up to do that, because all I had known was the church. And that I had used that to build off of and go in and do other things. And once we realize that we can be brave in one thing, we can continue to be brave and love ourselves through that. So that to me, that's just putting ourselves out there and doing what God intended for us to do, and just stepping forth in that fear and keep going.
Wow. Everyone has such an amazing story, and how this has really touched all of you just warms my heart. And I'm so glad that Brene Brown's, inspiring some of you to read her books and, kind of embrace what she's all about and what her research has shown. For me, this quote, among others of hers, she has a very sweet spot in my heart, because she came into my life through a TED Talks video about 3 years ago. And to love myself through the process of change, and to love myself through the process of fear and doubt, and meeting all of you and really taking charge of what it is that I wanted to do, has been the best decision of my life. And that doesn't mean it doesn't come without fear or self-doubt or even negative self-talk, but to overcome all of those things and loving myself, truly loving myself and taking care of myself allows me an opportunity to take care of all of you that much better and those in my life because of it. So being brave to me is self-care, taking care of myself first, building my dream, my wishes, my goals, the things that are going to serve me and make me feel like I've accomplished something so that I can better be out there in the world and give the gift of what God has given me just means the world to me. So thanks all of you so much for being a part of this week and #Brave.